Hello everybody, how are you guys doing today? Welcome in. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday? Is it Thursday? I think it's Thursday. Hope you guys are having a great day. Welcome in. We are going to start painting minis. Mydrawl, Dunder Snuff, Butterscorch, Starlit, Quishy, Wandering Picked, welcome in. You got your Castellax? Oh, cool. Very cool. Alright. We're going to paint a mini. And I also have this super colorful paint handle. So I actually won a giveaway, guys. And this was, it was through Instagram. And the one and only Crucial Blue nominated me to win this giveaway. So I won it, and I won these cool paint handles that are magnetized and have, replaceable caps. And magnets on the bottom and everything. It's really cool. So pretty excited about that. Thank you, Mungo's Miniatures. Is that the business? I think so. Very cool. And they sent candy in the packaging, so I was very happy. John Lockridge, welcome in on YouTube. How you doing? All right. Well, we're going to paint some minis. This is what we're painting today. T-Slayer, welcome in. How you guys doing? Doing bolt action stuff, cool. Have you played bolt action yet? I know you've been collecting for a bit. Or if you've gotten to play the game yet. Finishing up my steelwork. Very nice. Very nice. Alright. Yeah, what a weird week. New Autarch and Vampire Lord mini. The Vampire looks cool. A little basic, but I think that's fine. The Autarch is an Autarch. I don't know. He looks the same as all the other ones, I think. Does he have options in the kit like the other ones do? That's what I'm wondering. But man, GW loves making random vampire minis, though. You've not played 3rd edition? You did buy hard in a second. Okay. That's fair. I'm getting a lot of positive buzz. Bolt action 3rd edition, so... Bicyclist hit your car, putting a scratch down my car. That's annoying. Jeez. Mostly snowed in, so you're just staying inside. Nice. That sounds like a nice day. I was about to start stream, I got hit with like a sneezing fit. My exciting news for the day. Painting Sun is doing well. Pitched into a group buy, so we need some German weapons teams and a British M3 Grand. Oh, that's cool. Nice. I think we're just gonna paint this mini. No options with different sculpt. I like the Vampire Lord a little better. Yeah. Like I said, like GW, they've made like 100 Vampire Lords at this point. It's like the Primaris Lieutenant mini of Age of Sigmar, right? But I don't mind it because I play Undead, and that mini actually looks pretty reasonable. Like it looks like he'd fit on a 25 mil square base, so I'm cool with that. Hit it here. It was 30 degrees yesterday. It's 83, and today it's 65. Yeah, yep. Do about the Grey Knights set? Nice. I thought Florida was supposed to be sunny all the time. We're going to take our time on this mini. He's going to have a lot of gold on him. But if the Primaris Lieutenant's what GWE tests and trains new designers with, yeah, it could, yeah. Or I think there's just a sense of, like, they have their, like, digital design, right? Their, like, CAD design or whatever, and they can just alter a few things and just put out a lieutenant. And lieutenants can be nameless, and they have, you know, relatively basic items on them, so it's not like you have to bling out a dude just because he's a lieutenant. So it becomes an easy mini to release for like special occasions, right? For like limited releases. Yes, I did see the fog. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Some nice looking fog though. Printing some... Is that Kings of War Armada? Is that what that is? Is that Epic? Is that their Epic game, or what is... Or is that... Do they have like a naval-based game? What is that? Getting into playing hockey. Okay. It's their boat game. Nice. Ladies in public transport. They being a problem, Cody? Good morning. Just with Kings of War factions. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I have some hot takes, hot video game takes to share today. I don't know if you guys are ready for this. But, oh, good evening. Yeah, 5:30 for you. Yeah, okay. Really? Okay, it's been real popular. That's cool. You like a good naval game. So, alright, here's my video game hot take, alright? I am genuinely concerned and have a feeling that Dawn of War 4 is going to be bad. Like, real bad. That's my hot take. And I completely understand, you know, like early development and, you know, things aren't finished, but like the trailer yesterday that they put out this like trailer, like, you know, showing off the orcs or showcasing the orcs. They didn't showcase anything. They just played a cinematic that was honestly not very good. Like the cinematic was pretty bad in my opinion. And the gameplay they showed recently when they showed off like Lionel Johnson looked pretty bad. Like everything looked real clunky. And I have a feeling that that's just part of the style. I don't think that's like a, you know, this is pre-alpha footage, this is early, this is in development, like it could change. But I think Dawn of War 4 is going to be pretty bad. I'm feeling it. One of my biggest complaints from the initial like show off when they first showed that like trailer with the gameplay and stuff, which was cool. They showed gameplay right away, but one of my first thoughts from that like complaints was the sound design was really bad. And my whole thought was like, oh, well, this game's not coming out for a while. Like, that's, you know, that could just be placeholders, or they could be, you know, working on fixing that or whatever. And then they released a cinematic trailer, and they used the same noises, like the same bolter sounds that are like really anemic sounding and everything. And yeah, it's like it's gonna be like those bolter sounds, but for the whole game. That's what I feel like the attitude is gonna be. So yeah, I watched that Orc trailer yesterday, and I was like, oh, that's bad. Like, it doesn't look very good. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't explain anything or show anything. It's, you know, like, if this were like 2004 and they were playing that trailer, like, I'd be super hyped. But no, doesn't look good. Bus Crumpy. Okay. Dang, you're kicked off the bus, Cody? Jeez, man. Jeez. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta keep that to yourself. That stinks, though. Hopefully you're doing alright. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to Total War 40K. Yeah. Holding Judgment for now. I like to see actual gameplay with UI and commands. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised they did an Orc showcase and then showed nothing from the actual game. And I think this game's gonna come out in like the next 6 or 7 months. I don't think it's too far away from release. And the fact that they would do a faction showcase and then not show a thing is concerning. And even the stuff they did show was pretty bad. Yeah, modern gaming, yeah. Orbit the DLC. Dude, the DLC for that game are so expensive. Yeah. I was actually I reinstalled Boy Forum was looking into playing some, and I was like, you know what, Steam sale's going on, I'll maybe grab a DLC and jump in and everything. And even on sale they were like $25 for DLC. I was like, there is no way. No way. The subscription went up in price. Jeez. Yeah, they have a subscription. Yeah, if you don't want to buy the DLC, you can do a subscription. It's like $8 a month. Is that to have all the DLC? Is that what that is? Which is wild, and sounds like such a horrible business practice. Yeah, I saw that. I ended up not buying any of them. Total War 40K is going to be much bigger. Yeah. I think, yeah, I agree, John. I do think it has, potential to be like among the greatest strategy games ever. And I feel like Creative Assembly they have like a reputation. They have like a good and a bad reputation, right? But as far as Total War Warhammer goes, overall they listen to people and they fix their game when things need fixed. And they're not afraid to like change up the game, and they've put so much work into Warhammer as a game, and like I don't feel bad with their DLC practice. They have a lot of DLC for that game, but none of them like changed the gameplay if you don't own them. You're just missing out on the units and leaders that you would buy. So yeah, see, as far as Hoi 4 DLCs, I was looking at them during the Steam sale, and I was like, these are too expensive. Yeah, and the cruddy thing about bundling with their bundles is that, you know, I want to buy the gameplay DLC. I don't care about like world leader portraits and additional sound effects for vehicles. Like, that to me is not worth the money. But they sell that DLC for like $5 a pop. And I'm never going to buy that for $5. That's just not going to happen. But what they do is when they make their bundles, they bundle everything. And then they add all of those into the bundle. And they're like, look, you're saving an additional 33%, but then you're buying all of these worthless DLC that come out to like an additional $15 on the whole bundle. And you're not saving any extra money. It's just essentially you're buying their weird sound effect DLCs and like art book DLCs for like you're getting those as included in the price. I don't like that at all. Meant to mention, last night picked up a copy of the new Warhammer quest. They did a bad job on some of the maths and balances. One of the boss missions is mathematically impossible. Weird. That does sound like GW though. Sounds like something they'd do. They don't expect people to actually play that game. So it's infuriating. Those things should be free, including the DLCs that come out alongside. Yeah. Paradox has some of the worst, like, anti-consumer business practices, at least among, like, the strategy game world. Yeah. I know at one point, I don't know if they've done this more, but I know at one point playing, because I played Hearts of Iron when it came out, before there were any DLC. It's like 2016 or something. And I remember playing it. And I dropped the game for like a year or so, and I come back. And a feature I distinctly remembered at the time, I don't remember it specifically now, but I wasn't able to do it. And it was because a DLC had come out, and they took that feature and they put it in the DLC. So if you didn't own the DLC, you couldn't do the thing that you were able to do when you had just the base game released. Three sessions for fully beating Curse City. Playing Darkwater. If there's a boss, maybe they're calculating an upgrades of the characters at base level can't be done. Okay. Maybe you have to play Curse City first. But yeah, Mydro, you're one of the only people I've ever heard of that actually play those games. That's cool. I mean, I'm glad people out there are playing them and enjoying them, hopefully. If there was any of them I was going to play, it would have been Curse City. It's because vampires and undead are cool to me. Friends, I'm not painting the Nurgle minis. I can do characters. We have a large backlog, yeah. Blackstone Forges. That might have been. I remember hearing good stuff about Silver Tower, too. I don't, like... it's a hard metric because like what is widely played mean? Like I know Curse City was sold out almost instantly, and that was a big issue. But I don't think it was sold out because people wanted the game. It was just sold out because people wanted new Undead minis. And I don't know if that necessarily translated into a lot of people playing the game. I'm sure more people played the game than would have if, you know, the theme was different or there wasn't as much hype around it or whatever. But yeah, it's... I almost never see buzz around those games as actual games. So...
Stay on target.
Way off target. There we go. Sorry, guys. I knew War Games today. What were you looking at? Flames of War. Okay. That is a game that kind of dove off a cliff. Better do war games than war crimes? Alright. Depending on the game you play, it might be committing war crimes. War updates till Act 2. Lock new data sheets after Act 2. Upper Roller one for Genes to the call. Oh, nice. That's cool. Brood Brother stuff is really cool. Using flamethrowers against military targets isn't a war crime. No. Yet. These claws, I think the claws are going to be a lot of silver. I don't think we're going to do much gold on them. Things, let's see. The book. Yeah, maybe we grab this book binding real quick and then we put on gold accents over it. Probably what we should do. So let's do that. Let's grab a little bit of, how about mahogany? I have a hobby bingo card. and try to fill out until March 31st to finish a lot of things. Essentially, it's painting, I want to say 13 minis and playing 12 games. Go down to its really basic sense. I think I can probably get done.
Take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your home.
Hey, Red Dirt John. Johnny, welcome in. How are you doing, Johnny? Thank you for the follow. You're painting this nice Thousand Sun here. Some colors dry, but I'm going to grab some silver. Well, painting your sister's army. Very cool. Wait, so it's like Sisters of Battle or your real life sister's Warhammer army? Okay, Sisters of Battle. Okay. Throwing me. Nice. Very nice. I painted a Sisters of Battle army a couple years ago. And I remember how little I was looking forward to painting that army. And then when I actually got the minis in person and started working with them, I was like, man, these minis look really good. And they were a lot of fun. A lot of details, but they were a lot of fun to paint. Yeah, we're just chilling today. This will be my first mini from start to finish for 2026, which is normally way too long into painting minis. Order of the Martyred Lady. Oh, cool. Yeah, black with the red robes. Very nice. What else I ordered today was a flamethrower. Well, you really are getting into Flames of War. I used to hang out with a couple guys, my local game store. I played some games with them, and they were on the U.S. national team for Flames of War, because Flames of War would have international tournaments, and like you would represent your country and everything. I don't know if I'm sure they still do it, but again, I just don't think Flames of War is quite as popular anymore. But yeah, they were also playtesters for Flames of War, and I remember when, because Flames of War is in 4th edition, and this was when 3rd edition was coming out, or had to come out, and they talked about how they were playtesters, their whole group, and they got in a back and forth with the rules writers about specific aircraft used as air support for one of the divisions that you could play, and they were saying like it never happened, and the rules writers are saying yes it did. And so one of the guys in the group was friends with like the US Air Force like lead historian, and like gave him a phone call and had him write a statement saying that like the rules designers are wrong, like that never happened. And at that point the rules writers stopped communicating with the playtest group and never let them playtest again. which is like this is such a historical gamer thing, like all around. Like that whole interaction is like, yeah, those guys play historical games. How can you tell? We kept all of them, grabbed one, and passed on to the next. Oh, so you're doing them wrong, Dundersnuff. Okay. After an encounter, you draw 5 or 6. 4 cards each player gets to keep one. Dang. So you can beat the boss. You have Team Yankee as well. Jeez. I watched some battle reports for Team Yankee, and I was never too like thrilled with how the game played. Can hope the one shot the 7-win boss, huh? Interesting. Oh, yeah. I mean, the style and time period are really cool. The attachments on these lightning claws are completely different. Like the power cords. Oh well. Not played the game yet, gotcha. The other day I watched the first X-Men movie with my son. The like 2000 year 2000 X-Men movie. And I did not realize that Ray Park is Toad. I thought that was really cool. And he even does like a Darth Maul move, which is really funny. I never caught that before. It's been probably 20 years since I've seen that movie, so but that was pretty great though. we saw that X-Men are supposed to be in Avengers Doomsday, so we have to catch up on all those movies, all 9 of those movies, or whatever, 8 of those movies. I don't know how many there are. You're mostly 3D printing, Team Yankee. Oh, that's cool. You have good STLs for tanks and stuff, for like all of it. Just 2 X-Men movies? No. I like, yeah, Lightning Claws. So I generally like the like first class X-Men movies with like the younger cast and everything. And I know like Days of Future Past was my favorite X-Men movie. So like I'm cool if they do like tie-ins with that and everything. Night Trap. Yes, this is a Thousand Sun Centurion with twin lightning claws, or a pair of lightning claws. And Butch, welcome in. Butch, I do, well, usually I do. This is not his base. This is a temporary base that he's attached to while I paint him. So he is technically not on his base. Even though I usually do just paint the minis on their bases. Yeah, the claws sound like fun. I wanted something different. Yes, the box is from the Mark II Centurion. That's right. And I have lightning claws from the upgrade kit, the melee upgrade kit, and just the basic like sergeant sprue. And I also have what else? 3D printed head on them. The shoulders, just the plastic shoulders from the Tactical Marines. It's been a while since I put this guy together. I'm trying to remember everything I did with him. True Metallic looks different. It is the same stuff I usually use. It's probably on a little heavier because I use a clear red paint, but it's currently matte varnished and everything, so it's paintable. Bash looks great. Tempted to copy parts for my word bearers. Oh, nice. All right. Into Hero, welcome in, by the way. Yeah, I like this Mark II Centurion mini. You can do some more with it, so I didn't put the cape on him. It's actually a little easier to deal with without the cape. It's just you need new shoulder pads for him if you remove the cape. But the one issue I have with kit bashing a bunch of these, if you had like 3 or 4 of them, is just this chainmail, this like tabard loincloth thing that he has here. It makes them all start to look the same after a while. This is my second Centurion I have. I have another one. He's more classically armed. He's got the power maul and the combi melta and stuff. But yeah, that's the biggest issue with this mini. His pose is a little like somewhat unique as well. So yeah, the ornamented body. Yeah, it's a great mini overall. I really like the minis from the Saturnine set. I have almost all of it painted. I never painted my actual Terminators from that set, mainly because they were my least favorite thing of the set, and I just had other things to do, so I just never got around to it. Yeah, the 40k. Yeah, see, I'm not a big fan of the chainmail, especially since I'm painting Thousand Suns. Like, chainmail isn't like wouldn't be like a big thing for them. I think the way these pieces go on, though, this might just be part of the legs. I think is how this piece worked, where it was like all one piece or something and attached to the leg. I don't think it was separate, if I remember correctly. Which is why I didn't swap anything, because I've swapped like the tabards on minis before.
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back
Hey,
into your home.
Thorin Oakenshield 2, welcome in. So much sense for Thousand Suns? Yeah, they do. They do make sense for them, lore wise, but I just really don't like the models, honestly. I'll eventually get around to painting them. I will most likely never use them on the tabletop, but I'm sure eventually I'll get around to painting them. Oh, there are two of them. Yeah, two Thorin Oakenshields is pretty wild. What's going on, Thorin? It's a little hard to kit bash. Yeah. Between the cape and needing some extra parts, and then it's a relatively monopose mini, which is unusual for Heresy minis. Normally they're very posable. There's another Thorin Oakenshield. I think so. I think there's another Thorin Oakenshield following this channel. And if I were being wise about it, I'd feel like it is your channel or your account. But if it's not, that's pretty wild. I feel like I have talked to a Thorin Oakenshield via stream at some point in the recent past. Yeah, the word bearers get the possessed Saturnine, which is cool. They shove demons in the armor. Bury Thousand Suns. Yeah, no need to buy the box with the Venom crawlers. That's true. Yeah. If you want obliterators, I think obliterators are supposed to be getting a refresh soon. That's the current rumor. So that might not be a thing soon anyway, but oh, they're cool. Like a more renegade chaos army that doesn't have as many chaos mutations, but still wants to field obliterators. Perfect. Okay, is that it for silver? I think that might be it for the silver. No, we gotta do this. The little clips on the legs. Do you mind gandering my question above? Yeah. Did I miss it? Where is it? It's way up there. What question? Hey, Zen, what's going on? I can't see your question. I don't know where it is. Grassed up mummies and whips. Any experience with static grass? I think I asked before, and the answer is not much. I do. I have experience with static grass. Yeah. What do you need? Oh, you beat the. Okay, you beat like the intro thing, Zen. Nice. What's your question, Mydro? What's your question about him? I might be able to help. I mean, they look cool. I love the green and yellow. Green and yellow is a great color combo. Static grass to stand more proud. May not use it. Okay, so a lot of static grass. I don't know what glue you're using to put the static grass down. A lot of static grass will naturally kind of stand up as the glue dries. So that will happen, but otherwise, yeah, it's like the applicator. I don't usually use a like anything to make it stand up. But if you look, like, this is static grass I have on a mini, and it's kind of, you know, falling down and everything, but most of it does stand up, and you can kind of see here where it's mostly standing up. I don't think it's supposed to be perfect, but mine does just kind of lay down. I guess I'm kind of lazy with mine. Yours seems like it's standing up okay. I don't know, get a balloon maybe? Actually, like, get like a static charge on there. This handle I wanted to give away, Zen. Mungo's Miniatures did a giveaway, and Crucial Blue actually nominated me for the giveaway. And he sent me these, so I'm using them on stream. I'm trying them out. They're pretty cool. 3D printed. They're magnetized. They're like hollow, and you can actually take this piece off. And Blue mentioned filling these with something that can weigh him down a little bit, but look like a field. Yeah, you wanted to make it look good. Yeah, I get that. I might be a little more limited in how I can help you there, because I'm normally a fan of, like, you put it on there and you kind of let it go, and like the fact that it's not perfect is like the benefit. Filled with beans. Yep. Yeah, a little maraca handle. Yeah. Why don't you play Old World or Fantasy more? It seems to match the big scale battles. I do play Old World. Yeah, I like Old World. I don't play any game as much as I actually want to. But that was actually the last game I played was Old World. I was at an Old World tournament. Jeez. How did the battles fare? At the Old World tournament, I went 2-0-1. I got second overall in tournament points. And the dude that got first overall submarined, though. So we would have played a round 4, I would have played him. And I may have done pretty well against him. I don't know. But yeah, felt good. Played against 3 great people. Got best sportsman with getting no losses, which to me is a good feeling. Any notable battles? I mean, yeah. I played against a Beastman player first, and he purposely took a list with no magic, and he had no thyroid is not a muscle, no. And he had like an idea, and so I was pretty much like unfettered and was able to like get whatever magic I wanted, which was great. And then he couldn't kill my big brick of Graveguard, and that was basically the game. Like, he had his giant brick of Gores, they smashed into my brick of Graveguard, and he just sat there in combat trying to kill me while I just raised my units back up to full, at the end of or at the start of every one of my turns, and he was just kind of stuck there. How much time do you typically spend per marine-sized infantry model? It depends on the model. So my normal marine, so if I'm painting Thousand Suns, this is like a normal tactical marine for me. This dude might be like an hour and a half of work, not including dry time. But there's a lot of what goes into this mini is like cure time for the red clear paint that I use on it, because it needs to cure for 24 hours, and then I have to seal it with 2 varnishes, or else it'll reactivate and it'll bleed into my other colors, and it's this whole thing. And then like I edge highlight it, and edge highlighting these Mark II Marines takes forever. So that's kind of the thing that takes the longest with these minis, but they're not terrible. They don't take me a terrible amount of time. Yeah, an hour and a half is probably, if the Mark II's a basic tactical marine. If it were like the Mark VI Marines, I'd have those done in under an hour. Those go real quick. There's not as many panels on them and random things to paint. No trim on the shoulders, which is nice. So yeah, if it's like a like any other chapter that's not using metallic armor, I can have a marine painted in 30-40 minutes. And that's, yeah, like a basic marine. How do your Graveguard look? I don't have any official Graveguard minis, so I kind of did this thing where all the games I was playing before the tournament, the like 2 games I played before, but all the people I saw, they kept calling my skeletons Graveguard, because I have the newer skeleton minis. They're like the Age of Sigmar, they're like Death Rattle skeletons or whatever. We was like, oh, cool, Graveguard. I'm like, no, they're just skeleton warriors. I'm like, wow, they look like they're like armored and everything. Well, like, yeah, they are. Well, I decided for the tournament I needed to fill out points, and I had to adjust my list and all this stuff, and so I decided to bring Graveguard, and I just used my skeleton warrior minis, and not one person knew that they were actually skeletons, because I guess they just look enough like Graveguard. So yeah, I think that might be it for silver. Let's get some white. No, it's not. I have to get that buckle, don't I? I have to get both these buckles. Okay, that's what I was originally doing before I got distracted. Yeah, I'm excited to have this mini painted. It'd be cool. Zen, there is a Zone Mortalis event. I think I told you about it on February 8th. It's on a Sunday, but if you're interested. Anything else? No. He does have like a belt. I think that belt might need to be gold. Be running gun. Okay. Yeah, best competitor in Quest. Yeah, put an asterisk next to my name. Can you explain to me what you bought me for Total War? Yeah, okay. So Zen, what I got you for Total War. I bought Zen Total War Warhammer for Christmas. I bought you, so you have all 3 games. I think you already had the first one, so I got you the second and third one. The first 2 games are not to be bothered to be played as their own games. They don't matter. All they are DLC for the 3rd game at this point. So the factions that come in those games are now playable in the 3rd game for you. So like the first game had the Empire with Karl Franz and Balthazar Gelt as their 2 legendary lords. Those 2 lords, that faction, they're playable for you. And the Empire as a faction is playable for you. It also came with the dwarves, and it came with Ungrim Iron Fist and who's in Thorgrim Grudgebearer. Those two lords for the dwarves, they're playable from game 1, but they're playable in game 3 is where they are. Okay, same with vampire counts, and then there's also greenskins. I also got you the 2 DLC for dwarves. And what that is, those are only 2 DLC for dwarves, but what those do is those add extra units that you can train when you play as dwarves. And it also adds new, like, legendary lords that you can start as, like, a separate faction. So they have a different start location, they might play differently. Like, there's a dude who's like a slayer, but he's also an engineer, and he has a giant flying airship that he rides around on, and like that's your campaign, is like riding around the airship. Yeah, Malachi McKyson, yeah. So that's the DLC I got you, and it's specifically those factions. Now, one of the DLC, I think actually also came with a Goblin Lord, and it was like a greenskin and a dwarf DLC, like combined. A lot of their DLCs like pit lords against each other, and so they kind of release multiple things. But so you have an extra greenskin faction. You also have all the factions from game 2, and so that's Lizardmen, High Elves, Dark Elves, and Skaven, with like kind of their base lords that are available. So those are all playable in game 3. What Creative Assembly also does is they have a ton of free content. So Britonia as a faction is completely free. So if you wanted to play a Bretonian campaign, I don't know if you have to like log into their website or if it automatically, I don't know how they do the free DLC anymore. They used to be like you had to have an account on their Total War website and then you just claim it from there. But now you might just have it automatically. But there's a ton of lords, a ton of units, and yeah, Britonia as a faction that are just completely free. What faction are you wanting to play, Zen? Because that's a good question. Because there are some that are extremely difficult and others that are really easy. Plan to get Barrel Guard as Grave Guard? I kind of do, but there was no confusion, Night Trap. Yeah. I prefer my skeletons more silly with no armor. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I do want to get Barrel Guard eventually. You know, if I want to continue my Vampire Counts army and stuff, like, that's definitely something I want to do. I didn't do it this time, and it was fine. There was no confusion. So, they were my Grave Guard, and that was it. Malachi is really cool. I haven't played a Malachi campaign. His campaign is a little more complex because I think he counts as like a horde army, which doesn't necessarily have settlements or need settlements, and so it might be kind of strange and a bit of a learning curve. You could try. I mean, you can always just like restart the game when you kind of figure things out. One I would say to avoid is Belagar Ironhammer. His campaign starts with a bunch of debuffs because his whole goal is to capture a particular city, and he's competing with 2 other enemy lords to capture it. But like the upkeep on all of his units is raised by like 50% until you capture that city. And it makes him really difficult. Once you capture the city, it's great, but it is a pretty difficult campaign. If you want like a really like the simple kind of baseline dwarf campaign is Thorgrim Grudgebearer. He's like the faction leader, but his campaign plays most like your basic Total War game. You take cities, you expand, you earn money. All the dwarf factions are like swimming in money by like turn 50, so you should be really good with money. I would just say just take your time expanding. And also know that dwarves have something called an underway stance for their armies. If you know how to like turn your armies into like forced march and stuff, they have a special stance that some factions have, but they have this one where you actually can bypass mountains and like impassable terrain and stuff and just like move under them. So you can move really fast in the mountains, but you can't attack out of that. It's a whole thing. There's a whole thing about the underway stance. It's definitely not Age of Empires. Hunter stuff. Stop calling this game Age of Empires. I was watching Age of Empires free-for-all match this morning. I like it better than Civ. Yeah, that's fair. I've heard all the Civ 7's been garbage. I haven't played Civ since 5, so lots on Total. I'm super hyped for Total War 40K. Yeah. I was talking about Dawn of War 4 earlier, and how my hot take, or I guess my new take, is that the game's not going to be very good. I don't think it looks good right now, and I don't think it sounds good right now, and that has me really concerned with that game. Only played 5, yeah. Yeah, Civ 5 was like peak. No, I'm a big fan of Creative Assembly and Total War. I've been playing Total War games since the original Shogun, back in like the year 2000. So I am ready for Total War 40K. Yeah, it's gonna have like destructible terrain, and it's gonna be a lot more like like cover based and everything. I think it's gonna be great. Dwarves are a very ranged heavy faction, so just so you're ready for that, Zen. StarCraft 64 is on Switch. Oh wow, that's cool. It's been good since the original Dawn of War 1 games. Yeah, the expansions and stuff. I like Dawn of War 2. I didn't like multiplayer in Dawn of War 2, but I liked the campaign in Dawn of War 2. The RPG elements were really cool. Yeah, I enjoyed 2.
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back.
If this game is anything like Dawn of War 2, then I'm probably not going to enjoy it, especially not more than Total War. But I'm a huge Total War fanboy, so that's what I'm going for. Dad Bods United, welcome in. I feel like this dude was scoping me out. What's going on, Dad Bods United? Thanks for the follow. Yeah, this is the handle that I won in a giveaway. What's going on, Dad Bod? The magnet on top is a little weak. I'm scared I'm going to knock that magnet off, but otherwise it's cool. Yeah, the like pink and orange filament is neat. He gave me a bunch of spare toppers too, and there's a second handle that's like shorter. So Working and lurking. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's from Mungo's Miniatures, I believe, is the name of the business. Yeah, we'll give away on Instagram. Send them to me. Yep. Insert size joke. Yeah. Yeah. Zen, another thing about the Dwarf campaign you need to get ready for is the Grudge, the Book of Grudges. So whenever someone wrongs you in the campaign, it goes in the book. And all of the old dwarves get really upset if you don't fix the grudges in a timely manner, like right the wrongs. And it mostly starts debuffing your campaign, but it also increases the amount of slayers you can recruit. So more people are shamed and they start becoming slayers if you let too many grudges go on for too long. He's not a fire slayer. Fire slayers aren't a thing, dude. Yeah, can't use that kind of language. Yeah, he is a slayer. Yeah, but the grudge mechanic, I think the grudge mechanic goes for all the dwarves, though. I think that's like a faction wide. That and the runes, you can actually buy magical like items for your characters that are really good. They're really good, and you get like a unique resource that goes toward buying them. You mainly get it when you settle grudges and like win battles and stuff, but yeah, Malachi's weird because he's a slayer, but he was also like an engineer, and I think part of the reason he became a slayer is because he killed a bunch of people with like something he made that went wrong or something. But the dude never stopped being an engineer. So where am I looking? But he is so he makes all these like crazy contraptions. Like he makes the Thunder Barge, which is like an airship covered in guns and harpoons and cannons and stuff. And or the best one is the Goblin Hewer, which was an actual miniature in Warhammer Fantasy. And it's literally it's so weird. It's like a spinning wheel with arms, and they load axes into it, and so it's a machine gun, but it doesn't shoot anything, it just throws axes, and slayers crew the weapon. And it's super short range, but it like shreds everything that gets close to it. So yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing that he made. But yeah, it's an old mini from like 2006, from a summer campaign. They came up with it. It was just wild. Yep, the Goblin Hewer. They also have there's Regiments of Renown, and you'll be able to get those because you have like those are like all like DLC things, but Regiments around like unique units, you only get one of it. It's like a named unit. That's like a kind of an upgraded version of a basic unit. They have a unit called a Grudge Thrower, and a Grudge Thrower is a catapult that throws rocks, right? The Regiment of Renown Grudge Thrower is, I can't remember the name of it, but what they do is they literally tie goblins onto the stones, and then they throw them out of the catapult. And so if you zoom in on the mini, you look at it, when it throws the stones, you will see a night goblin tied to the giant rock that it's throwing. It does like morale debuffs when it hits units and stuff. Yeah, 100 pick, got the Rook. This looks good. Looks really good. I like the color shift paint. It's like almost like a star field in a way. It's really cool. The like purple green kind of hue out of it. Yeah. Zen, did you shoot the bear at the end? I don't remember if you get to choose whether you do that or not. I think some paint could help that base, but I understand. You shot the bear. Can't believe you. Yeah, Oh, you didn't want to. Okay, okay. So that guy that you played as in that campaign, he becomes the Demon Prince, and that is a playable. You should be able to play the Demon Prince campaign. Um, Chaos is kind of anemic without like they have like 15 DLC for all the Chaos factions, but the Demon Prince is affectionately known as Daniel, and he has I think one of the worst campaigns in the game. So don't bother playing Daniel. All right, we getting is that all the base colors? I think that's pretty reasonable. Let's get a second coat. Hit the axe that turned off the power yesterday. Everything's fine. Oh, okay. No, no, sorry. No early day for you, huh? It's too bad. I'm gonna get like the metal pieces on this belt. It's not me using the microwave today. Maybe, yeah, yeah. Your microwave usage was cutting power. All right, let's add some dark neutral gray. Just gonna grab some khaki. The next Friday is a preview stream from GW. It's a reveal stream or whatever. Yeah, it seems like not a very big one. But maybe more Ultramarines. I think they'll officially reveal the Maelstrom campaign and the minis coming in that, which they've revealed most of them anyway. The price drops, yeah. Okay. Wow. My draw's riding his unicorn around looking for price drops from GW. They're going to show Custodes for Heresy. It's the only reveal I'm interested in. I don't know Age of Sigmar. It might be what was ogres, the ogre kingdoms, whatever they're called for Age of Sigmar. Might be a thing they're going to show off. Tuvan, what's going on? The Ultramarines and the Necron stuff has already been shown and is getting released in a couple weeks. This is going to be Chaos Marines and Eldar. But the Chaos Marines might just be Renegade, like, what are they, Red Corsair stuff, so... Not quite sure how they will do all that. Ogres, my lord. I have an Ogre Slang Knife. +9 against Ogre. Oh, dang. Okay, that's a big knife. For Ogres. You just want to eat. Okay, I don't remember that one. Their insides make you want to cry, like onions, yeah. The old YouTube D&D I remember is Fear of Girls, and they never talk about ogres there. That gets weirder with other things. Type of basing material I like more than others. Yeah, there is. I really like Geek Gaming Scenics, their base ready stuff. I'm a big fan of that, but I use lots of different. I use texture paste. I use like static grass and flock. I use 3D printed base toppers. It just depends on what I'm looking for in my army. Yeah, Geek Gaming Scenics makes cool products though. What do you think they're revealing the 11th? The 16th? Sequins? Okay. Oh, yeah, are they... I'm going to say March. I'm going to say Adepticon. I can't read good, guys. I don't read so good. Wolves painted up. I need to get the bases done to complete them. Struggling, just thought of snow and some rocks technicals like mud and sand. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think one of the keys when you're basing with snow is not to make the whole base snow. It's to... like make it something else underneath and then add some snow on top. Because if they're just running around in pure snow, I don't think it looks as good. Nearly as good. New edition. She got into Warhammer last year. Was very upset she spent money on codex. Yeah, yep. Well, it's gonna happen. I wonder if it'll get to a point to where everybody's just tired of it and like it doesn't do as well. You have to make little footprints behind them unless they're elves. Yeah. Gene, okay. Silver a little bit. A Santa Claus model the other day, the old Logan Grimnar and sled. Oh yeah, okay, okay. Painting Son is doing fine. I woke up this morning and he had already eaten a breakfast and wanted a second breakfast by the time I got up. And he would not stop talking. So like he's doing great. Yeah. Yep. It's channeling his inner hobbit. Watching too much Lord of the Rings. Yeah. We woke up and he ate some stuff and then he's like, I'm hungry, and like, so I made him an egg and toast this morning. He ate that and like, yeah, slammed all of his food and it was good. A tree topper Logan Grimnar. That's pretty wonderful. Okay. Okay. I think we take this dude and I think we add a wash. He's not been watching enough Lord of the Rings, honestly. Washes save the base. Good deal. Yeah, the texture's nice on the base Wandering Picked. I think it's just, yeah, just a little bit of color on there I think would do wonders. Ready to put a little bit of wash over this guy. No crazy details going on with this guy. He's pretty standard Thousand Suns commander here. But I will be happy to have another Centurion anyway. I use these guys a lot. They're kind of my go-to HQ when I play games anymore of Heresy. Just too good. That's my black wash being weird. Wait for the German camo. Yeah, German gray's a good color. '11th with the Demon Codex? That's not gonna happen. They probably won't even give demons an index next edition, I'm sorry to say. Because my understanding is the new edition of for 11th, they're going to be using the codexes from 10th going into the edition, kind of like 8th to 9th, you know, or like a, you know, somewhat smaller edition change. But that they might end up just getting rid of indexes. Maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, there's some reason to have them around, but yeah, Dunder, I'm sorry. I know you like your demons. Yes, I play Gundam. They haven't restocked a lot of the stuff. They have no magic for sale, very little sleeves. I found it's because they're oh, really? Hmm. Yeah, I really hope they don't, like, nothing happens to them, because for all the problems that store has, it's been around forever, and I don't have anywhere else close to me. Hmm. I have a gift card there. I need to use that soon. I guess I'm not sitting on the gift card. Home ones. Yeah. Oh, okay, so it's maybe more of a big release thing and they were buying product, but it also seems like they're not getting money in fast enough if they didn't sell all that. They're afraid they're going to close on that. Jeez. Huh. No, yeah, I can't see them closing in the next couple months, but they were rough, and the best place closed before COVID. Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of stores kind of in the general area, but you know, there's only one that's in like a really reasonable distance to me, and if they close, I'm gonna be pretty sad. But that store is also like they never have anything in stock anyway, and so it's hard to like buy from them because you can't just like go into the store and have something. You need to like order things like weeks in advance. So, what's up, Estrella? How you doing? On your lunch break? Nice. Very nice. Letting this mini dry. Correct the news, the LGS closing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that wandering pig. Like that's a big deal for us in the hobby, right? Like we want these stores to thrive. It's not like we can single-handedly support them, but I know things are getting tough for just about everybody, so at some point you can't you can't have all the stores, I guess, doing great when nobody else is, but Wargame sells GW stuff at a higher price. Yeah, oh, that stinks. Yeah. Need some new Antioch guys. Nice. Okay. Cool. Cool. Spend more money. Yeah, and I mean that's typical though. But what's the store gonna do? Just complain all the time that he's gonna go out of business if people don't spend money and just like hold people hostage like that? Like that's I don't see that. So a Christmas village, and every year I put little updates and I see how long it takes her to notice. This year the skeletonite you paint is defending the churchyard. Yes. Your wife has the Christmas village, man. It's classic. It's like Warhammer. I call it Warhammer for grandmas, but my mom doesn't like when I say that, so um, she gets mad when I say that. Players going to the store and acting like Liam Neeson at the end of Schindler's List. Jeez, all right. Is he like giving his ring and stuff to him? Is that what you're talking about? Like the scene where he's like trying to give them something to barter with? Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, we have a couple LGS with good discounts on everything, but if they struggle, then that's not good. It doesn't discount anything, so you go one further away. Yeah. And one close to me just never has anything in stock. That red brightened up a little bit. Yeah. Get back in the line more. The wash. Yep. Saw it lately. Did you change anything? The provider changed? I don't know. I haven't changed anything. I thought you were talking about my content real for a minute, but no, it's just my internet has been relatively stable, so yeah. Your LGS only takes cash. Well, that's also like I don't know. Some countries are a lot more like cash based, so that might be. Is that like super unusual? Because it's really unusual here, but most people just don't even carry cash in the U.S. anymore. Top 3 sold IPs the LGS were GW Magic Pokemon. Yep. Next highest selling product is WizKids. Yeah. It is pretty unusual. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, that's a terrible place to be. Can't make money and you don't. Like, yeah. Yeah, like, how do you dig yourself out of that, right? I don't think you can. Magic outsells 40k, but the Discord is 90% 40k talk. Yeah. Magic players might have their own Discord channel too. But I can see that. I know Magic is like pays the bills, right? Yeah, Magic is great because it takes almost no space compared to what they sell. So you can run a tiny little hole in the wall and just sell Magic, and you can make decent money. Just have no self-control. Well, I was thinking their own server, maybe not their own channel, but their own like Magic server. Yeah, singles, yeah. Yeah, stores 2 rooms. Yeah, that's all you need. It's fine. Estrella, don't feel bad, man. I type like a toddler. Twitch chat, so. And Discord. Yeah, I imagine getting into selling 40K is a lot more difficult because Games Workshop has so many stipulations of like what you have to have in stock and like how much space you need. So you normally have to have a very large display, which I think is part of Games Workshop's tactics with like what's not true, not having space. Yeah, what's up, Star Laser? How you doing? Yeah, but I think a big thing about GW and why they release, you don't have to carry everything. Oh, I think they have requirements on stuff you have to carry, though. Maybe not everything, but like... I think the idea and the business strategy is you have so many boxes of product for so many games that you take up all the physical space in a store so they can't stock other things. And I think that is like it's a very like monopolistic tactic, right? To like take over independent retailers. I think GW's been very much been doing that the past like 5 years. I think that's been a thing. Who might get rid of Necromunda in Old World? GW's not getting rid of Old World anytime soon. That game's been selling like crazy. Oh, the store might? Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, Old World also takes up a lot of space. So... And also by get rid of it might mean like carry the bare minimum, and the minimum from GW might be like a starter set, like a core box for the game or something, because that's what most stores do with like Middle Earth. Where if you go into just about any store that sells GW, they will have one box of Middle Earth products sitting on the shelf, and I always see that and I'm like, that's the price of doing business. They have to stock that one box, and it might never sell, but they have to stock the one box. Yeah, Old World has apparently been doing very well. So, like, selling a lot. Yeah, I would honestly think that it's probably their third best-selling product. But they did specifically mention, Games Workshop specifically mentioned the Old World in their like shareholder statement about how it's like unexpectedly doing very well. So I also don't think they would release a totally new faction with all new plastic minis if they didn't think it would sell. Demons taking Beastmen. Oh yeah, Beastmen are cool. Yeah, Beastmen are really cool. Yeah, Old World is funny because they just like out of nowhere they just announce like new stuff. Like they had that new those new Chaos Marauder minis, just like a giant box, and it was like a random Monday announcement. Yeah, the Zangor could fit into a Beastman army. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I think there's a rumor that the next Arcane Journal coming, um, after this Cathay one that was released, but that'll be announced somewhat soon. But the next journal coming is a Beastmen and Warriors of Chaos journal. So Beastmen are probably getting some more love, and hopefully they get more like Chaos God Mark rules, because that was always like a classic Beastman rule. Brand new plastic Cathay, but you're playing 30-year-old models. Yeah, it's true. It's because they didn't think it would sell very well. You know, they were trying to be really cautious with it. So it was easier to fire up the factory to print the 25 and 30-year-old minis than it was to start slow and make, like Cathay and Kislev being the first factions with all new minis. Like, what if people don't want to play Old World? Then they're just totally screwed, and they spent all that time, like tooling all that stuff and producing all that stuff, where kind of casting a wide net with stuff that's already been released and people know about was a much safer bet, and it seemed like it paid off really well for him. So yeah, it's still drying. Oh, I hope I can finish. Excuse me. A couple minis next week. Got a hero. I need to find a monster mini to paint. I'm gonna figure out some stuff. Old World used the new Coke strategy. Oh yeah. Oh, they definitely did. Yeah. But like unintentionally. It wasn't like a. Yeah, it wasn't like the plan all along. I think the Old World is the thing because it wasn't selling, right? Warhammer Fantasy wasn't making any money, so they got rid of it. They came out with the Age of Sigmar, like, wow, this game's making money. Who cares about like old Warhammer Fantasy? Well, they also didn't care, and they gave the video game rights to Creative Assembly. Creative Assembly made Total War Warhammer. That game sold like crazy, and it's like a golden goose for Creative Assembly. And all these people started playing this game, and they're like, wait, I thought you could buy miniatures for this game. Why is there just like elves riding like kangaroos and stuff? Like, that's not the game I want to play. And then GW, I think they saw that, and they kind of started working toward putting the Old World back out to, 10 years too late, capitalize on Total War releasing. But it seems like it worked. So yeah, and maybe had a bit of a slow start. I don't know. But it is satisfying to like buy a box and just get like 30 minis in it. And a lot of those old minis don't look too bad either. They're cool looking minis. But I also feel like I was around when a lot of those minis came out, so maybe my perspective is a little skewed. Old orcs look fine. Yeah. Yeah, the really old skeletons are bad. Yeah, the Tomb Kings ones. I had that set minus the Tomb King sprue. Like, that was my first Vampire Count minis, were those skeletons. And they were really cool at the time because you could customize them a lot, which was cool. They had like different like heads and tons of different like weapons and stuff. But yeah, I was like, man, 2008, 2009, they redid the skeletons, but they never touched the Tomb Kings ones. So Nostalgia's doing some great lifting. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah. Yeah, Nostalgia was definitely like the whole thing to kickstart it again, right? But I honestly, I really enjoy the game. I think the game itself is fun. And it doesn't feel as clunky as like some of the old editions probably do or would. there's still some jank to it, but it's more just like GW balance issues for like a really big game that no one's designed in a long time. It doesn't feel like it's like this old game. Play Soval to get my Warhammer fix. See, I play Soval and it makes me want to play Warhammer more. So I am GW's target customer when they release video games. I don't know how long this guy's gonna take to dry. Taking a sweet old time though. It's the fact that I kind of don't like playing Warhammer. I just want to sit here with my little dudes. The game is hard. That's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. Most local card shop exchange for store credit. Oh, that's cool. All right. Basmati rice slaps. Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, I like a good long game though. Like that's cool with me. Yeah, I enjoy playing like imagining, you know, like the giant battle as it plays out and stuff, so I really enjoy that aspect. Yeah, like chess might be a better game. You know, it might go a little faster, it might take just as long, but I don't get the immersion playing chess. I want to feel like there's an actual battle going on, so just panicking about getting numbers wrong for 3 hours. Oh, no. Sounds like a real battle though, right? That's funny. I used to work with this guy who I consider one of the dumbest people I've ever worked with. And he somehow, I don't know, but he found out I play like miniature games. And he didn't know much about miniature games, but he heard it was like a board game. He was talking to me and he was just asking me questions about it. And I was like, oh yeah, it's, you know, it's a game and you have miniatures and on the table and kind of play out a battle and stuff. He's like, oh cool. He's like, man, I really like chess. I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, man, he's like, some chess games just take so long and I just need a break after I play those games. It's just funny. Like that whole interaction was just really funny. Like just yeah. Thanks for trying to relate, guy. I appreciate it. Kill team shorter, yeah. I liked X-Wing for that. If anyone here ever played X-Wing, that game was great because you would play a game in under an hour, you know, maybe like half an hour, but like everything was quick. You were moving like the whole time, and it felt like you were in like a dogfight, which is like the whole idea of the game, right? Just like dogfighting starfighters and stuff. That was a great game. I never got like super into it, but I have quite a few X-Wing minis. I still have like my first edition rules to play the game. I brought it into work one day and played a guy on our lunch break. I taught him how to play. You played X-Wing in a tournament, and you had the starter box, yeah. A lot of the times those FFG starters, like, you needed to add a couple more things into it before they really, like, I don't know, felt right. But I also had first edition. I never played the second edition of the game, or like the weird 2.5 edition they did. Yeah. Hey, Zombie Bunny, what's going on? Star Laser, was it like the sequel trilogy starter set, or was it the classic, like X-Wing and TIE Fighter? It was the first one. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got it, and it was a great game because you would have these ships for like 10, $15, and you could just like, man, I really like B-wings, so you just go buy a B-wing, and then you have the B-wing, right? You take it out of the package, you put it on the base, and then you're flying it in the game. It's like a really well painted mini. Yeah, and you could just do that, and you're like, what are my favorite ships? Well, I really like TIE interceptors, so you could make a list of just TIE interceptors, or you can mix it up, and you could have, you could do that with the game. It was really easy to do, and they had a wave come out like every couple months, and a wave would be like 4 ships, and if you just wanted one of each, you're paying like $50-$60 every couple months to just stay completely up to date. You love the TIE Defender. Are you talking the classic like PC game? I guess if you played in a tournament, you probably know. Yeah. So like X-Wing, yeah. Were TIE Defenders super good in that? I don't remember. I learned how to play that game by watching the Fantasy Flight would live stream their World Championships. And I watched the live streams. That's how I learned how to play that game, because it's so simple to learn that you can literally just watch people play, and you can get that game down really quick. It's great. Groovy, what's going on? Building some minis? What are you building, Zombie Money? Anything fun? We're just chilling. This dude's drying. I don't know if it'll be dry in time. I was gonna chill for a little bit longer, having good conversation, so. Deathcore Krieg Army box. Oh, that's a solid box, yeah. If there was one holiday box I would have wanted, it was the Deathcore Krieg box. 2-4, then turn 180 as a white. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, it's a solid. You might be able to find X-Wing ships for cheap, yeah, on eBay and stuff. They might also be really expensive. I know Star Wars Armada is in the same boat. Armada was like my game, but some Armada ships sell for like $350. Yeah, the artillery is really cool. Yeah, it's just artillery and a bunch of infantry. Like, it's perfect box. Perfect Krieg box. What time painting while I was in Florida for the kids? 2 big game box models. Dang. That is a productive holiday. Only assembled a resin Deathcore Krieg. This is my first time with their plastic kits. Yeah. You 3D printed everything to play Armada. Are you talking about Star Wars Armada or Kings of War Armada? Super Dungeon Explorer and Forgotten King. I had friends that played Super Dungeon Explorer. Yeah, they get really into it. I never played it though. Armada was incredible. Armada, in my opinion, was the best miniature game I ever played. It just worked so well as a game. Thank you, Zombie Bunny. Yeah, I was just painting the Centurion. He's got a wash on him. I'm just chilling and chatting now. Alright, Wandering Pig. You have a good one. You have a great rest of your day as well. Am I going to get some of the new Breacher kits? Probably not. But that's only because I have my own Breachers. So...
It's cold.
I printed some shields and put them on Mark II, so I have my own Mark II breachers. And yeah, I will absolutely take a drink here. Took a hairbrush, nice. Yeah, Armada and X-Wing were just, yeah, absolute shame. Yeah, I have no respect for Asmodee or Atomic Mass games. Played one game, then 3D printed all the ships. That's great. Yeah, I played quite a bit of Star Wars Legion as well. I have quite a few minis for that game, but I just stopped. I don't even want to bother. Like, it's not worth trying to get back into. That game's gotten really expensive anyway. I remember it was like dirt cheap to get into Legion when it came out. Your separatist ships are in Discord? I think they might be, Quishy. They might be. They didn't have to reboot Legion. They decided to reboot Legion and come out with like a 2.5 edition or I don't even know what this is, a second edition they came out with. They refused to call it a second edition, but the gameplay is a lot different than it used to. And I don't like a lot of how the game plays, just from the bit I've seen. You know, I used to play test Star Wars Legion actually, and I enjoyed the stuff I play tested. Playtesting is stressful and kind of sucks the fun out of the game, but yeah, I would do that. But yeah, the new edition rules just don't look any good. And yeah, when you're paying $30, $40 for a character, like, I'm not paying GW prices for a game that's not GW. All the new starter sets? I'm going to ask him for a demo. Oh, cool. All right. For Legion, Quishy? The new minis do look good though. That's the downside of being a big Star Wars fan and also a fan of miniatures. So before Legion came out, I remember I was really big into Star Wars Armada, and Legion came out in like 2019. I want to say they announced it 2018. So I was playing Armada, and there was a rumor that Fantasy Flight was making a ground combat game. And at the time, they had a ground combat game, but it was Imperial Assault. And I don't know if anybody remembers Imperial Assault. Imperial Assault was a board game where, like, the board was tiles, and there was like a competitive scene for it where you'd create a team, and it was like a skirmish game, and it was kind of like infiltrate missions and stuff, and that game was always kind of messed up with its competitive scene and its balance and everything. But everybody figured that that game was the equivalent to X-Wing, and then Fantasy Flight was going to come out with a game that was equivalent to Armada, for a big ground combat game. And so the idea that everybody kind of got in their head, and this was like my dream idea, was more like an epic scale game. So you had pre-painted vehicles, you could get like AT-ATs on the board, and then your infantry were like multiple infantry on a stand, kind of like the squadrons in Armada. And then there was a ground combat game in that sense. And that to me sounded amazing. And so when they announced Star Wars Legion, I remember being really disappointed. And I don't think the initial Legion minis looked very good either. So it was like extra disappointing that they were like very mediocre looking minis and the game didn't look super fun. And eventually I played it, and over time it got better. And it kind of came into its own and everything, but yeah. And then Fantasy Flight, they had to move everything to AMG, and they fired both the game designers. It was great, like abruptly. So that was really cool of Asmodee and FFG. Yeah, I think a lot of the communities died when those games got sold off. People saw like the writing on the wall. I'm honestly surprised Legion's lasted this long, but I don't think AMG has much else. They have Legion and Crisis Protocol. I haven't even heard a lot from Shatterpoint in a while. Shatterpoint kind of die off too. They have new releases coming for that. Coming out for Shatterpoint. Oh, they got Rift Tamsin. Okay, well that's all right. I guess they're diving deep with Shatterpoint. Shatterpoint and Legion don't have a lot of staying power. I mean, I guess Legion's been around for like 8 years at this point, so I don't know if it necessarily seems like it's stopping. What do they have coming out for Legion? Yeah, they got all the new plastic characters coming out, so no, it's I agree that's probably not thriving. But then again, like what's the metric we use for success for that? Um, I remember hearing hearing guys in my local store, like employees talking about, it was actually owners of the store, kind of talking about like Horus Heresy. I was eavesdropping a little bit, but they were they were talking about how like they're like, yeah, Horus Heresy sells almost nothing compared to 40K and Age of Sigmar, but they said any other company would kill to have the sales numbers that Horus Heresy has. So like, in perspective, like how much does Star Wars Legion need to sell to be a success to them, right? That's off a lot of BFG metal ships, in part because I can print anything I want. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that makes sense, Groovy. Hopefully you make decent money on it. Yeah, I really do think that was probably X-Wing's biggest downfall, was they released stuff too quick. I know they tried to like, they definitely had like lightning in a bottle with X-Wing, but I think they moved too fast with it, and then I think they kind of ran out of stuff. I don't think they were completely out of stuff to release, but man, there's so many different ships they put out for that game. pastel's of the same things give about 20. Oh dang, okay. Yeah, well, $2,500 worth of old metal ships when you can 3D print what you got. That's pretty solid. Yeah. Oh man, I think, guys, I'm gonna call this stream today. And yeah, get some errands done and get some things done. But yeah, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna maybe finish. Well, we definitely will finish painting this mini next week, but we'll work on it probably Sunday night, and then yeah, finish them next week. I doubt. I don't know. Sunday's yeah. That's a big if on Sunday. I doubt 2 hours I could finish that, but we'll work on finishing them this next week, and we'll start on something else next week. We'll be painting. Hopefully, the rest of the painting family is healthy through the next week, so we don't have any crazy interruptions or kids acting like they're going to throw up all day or whatever. So try to keep that in mind. But you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern for some more painting. All right, bye everybody.